Something is missing. You can feel it. Not loudly, not in a way you can point to. Just a quiet pull, like a door somewhere inside you that you never open. You wake up. You check your phone. You make your coffee. You do what needs to be done. And somewhere between the morning and the night, another day disappears. And you tell yourself, tomorrow I'll rest. Tomorrow I'll feel it. Tomorrow I'll actually be here. But tomorrow comes, and you're already somewhere else. There is a story, not famous, not written in any great book, but the kind of story that gets passed down quietly, from one person to another, because something in it refuses to leave. A long time ago, there was a river that ran through a small village. Every morning, the people came to the river. They filled their vessels. They carried the water home. They used it for everything. For cooking, for cleaning, for drinking, for keeping things alive. But there was one man in the village who never drank. He carried the water. He gave it to his family. He made sure everyone had enough. He was always the first one at the river, and the last one to leave. People respected him, called him generous, called him disciplined, called him devoted. But one summer, the rains didn't come. The river slowed. The water became scarce. And the man, who had spent his whole life carrying water for others, collapsed in the field, not from lack of water, from lack of rest, from lack of nourishment, from something no one had noticed, because he had been too busy making sure no one noticed. A traveling healer came through the village that week. She sat beside the man. She looked at his hands, cracked and worn. She looked at his face, hollow in a way that had nothing to do with hunger, and she asked him something strange. She said, "When was the last time you drank from the river yourself?" He thought for a moment, and then he said something that no one in the village ever forgot. He said, "I didn't think the water was meant for me." She didn't say anything after that. She didn't need to, because in that one sentence, an entire life had been explained. And maybe, if you're honest with yourself right now, your entire life has just been explained too. Because you know this man. You are this man, not because you carry water, but because you carry everything else. You carry the work. You carry the worry. You carry the expectations. You carry the needs of everyone around you. And you do it well. No one doubts that. But somewhere inside you, in a place you rarely visit, there is a version of you that is desperately thirsty. Not for success, not for more, not for something new, just for you. Just for a single moment that belongs entirely to you. And here is the thing that no one tells you. You have been investing your entire life. You just haven't been investing in the right place. Think about it honestly, not defensively, just honestly. You invest your time, freely, generously, into your work, into your obligations, into people who need you, into plans that demand you. You invest your energy. You give the sharpest hours of your day to everything that isn't you. And by the time you return to yourself, there is nothing left to return with. You invest your attention into screens, into noise, into the endless motion of other people's lives. And you consume it all, without ever asking what you are actually hungry for. And the strangest part, the part that no one wants to admit, is that you do all of this believing it will eventually lead somewhere. That one day, after enough work, after enough sacrifice, after enough proving yourself to the world, you will finally arrive somewhere quiet, somewhere yours, somewhere that finally feels like enough. But that day keeps moving. Every time you get close, the goal shifts, the expectation grows, the finish line quietly relocates itself, just far enough ahead to keep you running. And you run, because stopping feels dangerous, because rest feels like falling behind, because somewhere along the way, you learn that your value lives in your usefulness. And so you keep being useful to your work, to your family, to your goals, to your image of who you're supposed to become. And you forget to be useful to yourself. There was another man, younger than the first, sharper, faster. He grew up watching his father work, watched him wake early, watched him stay late, watched him pour himself into everything around him, and come home emptied out every evening. The son promised himself he would be different. He studied harder. He worked smarter. He built things faster than his father ever could. By 30, he had more than his father had at 50. But one night, sitting in a room full of everything he had built, he felt it. That same hollow quiet, the one his father used to carry home. And he realized something that shook him in a way that success never had. He had not escaped his father's life. He had only upgraded it. The sacrifice was the same. The absence was the same. The distance from himself was exactly the same. It was just faster now. More efficient. Better decorated. But inside, the river was still running dry. And he sat there that night. And he asked himself the question that changes everything when you finally let it land. What am I actually building this for? Not the answer you give other people. Not the version that sounds good. The real answer. The one that lives underneath the ambition. And when he found it, it was small, quieter than he expected. He just wanted to feel okay. He just wanted to stop running long enough to know he was safe. He just wanted to exist without constantly proving his existence. That's it. That was underneath all of it. And maybe, underneath all of yours, something just as simple is waiting. Because the truth is, no one starts this way. No child wakes up and decides to abandon themselves. No person chooses to become a stranger to their own inner life. It happens slowly, quietly, in the everyday moments you stop noticing. The morning you were too rushed to sit with your coffee. The evening you were too exhausted to feel anything. The weekend that became another extension of the week. The conversation you had with yourself that got interrupted and never resumed. Layer by layer, year by year, you drift from yourself. Not dramatically, not in a way anyone would notice from the outside, but you notice in the restlessness, in the emptiness that lives beneath the busyness, in the way certain songs hit you unexpectedly, in the way you sometimes stop in the middle of doing something and feel, just for a second, like you have no idea who is doing it. That is not anxiety. That is not weakness. That is you, trying to find yourself in a life that has been built around everything except you. And it doesn't require a dramatic change. That's the part people always miss. They hear this and they think, I need to quit my job. I need to leave everything behind. I need to go somewhere far away and start over. No, you don't need to go anywhere. You just need to stop leaving yourself. The investment you've been missing is not money. It's not time in the way people usually mean. It's presence, the decision to be actually here, in your own life, for more than just the moments when something requires your attention, to drink from the river. Not because someone told you to, not because it's on your to-do list, not because a version of self-care you saw online made it look appealing, but because you are a person, and persons need to be nourished, not just maintained, not just kept functional, not just optimized for output, nourished, in ways that are quiet, in ways that don't produce anything, in ways that the world around you may never recognize or reward. The moment you sit in silence and let yourself actually feel what's there, the walk that has no destination, the conversation with yourself that you keep postponing, the question you've been afraid to ask because you're not sure you'll like the answer. These are investments, not in your productivity, not in your image, not in the life you're building for everyone to see, in you, the version that existed before the titles, before the responsibilities, before you learn to make yourself useful enough to be loved. And here is what no one ever tells you about that version. It never left. It's still there, quieter now, a little more patient than it used to be, but still there, still waiting, not for you to fix yourself, not for you to become something better, not for you to finally arrive at the version of your life that deserves peace, just waiting for you to turn toward it. The way you would turn toward an old friend. You stopped calling, but never stopped thinking about. And even now, in this moment, as these words move through you, something is shifting, something is recognizing itself. That quiet pull you felt at the beginning, that wasn't emptiness, that was the door, and it was never locked. You just stopped knocking.